am personally Team Josh.
Yeah, okay.
I am a toxic.
Team Nelson.
Me
Everybody,
too.
Team Nelson, honey.
Hey everyone, I'm Anna Rumor with PopCulture, and today with me I have Kaniehtiio Horn and Jana Schmieding, two of the stars of Peacock's Rutherford Falls. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Now, season one was so beloved. Jana, how was it coming back to kind of follow that up? And Kaniehtiio, how did you feel about joining on?
So exciting to have a season two. We just got to dive in deeper and get a little more crazy in these characters and see more zany hijinks with all of them. And of course, it's such a joy to work with the core cast and also to bring in new cast members and expand our world a bit. That was just the joy of my life.
And for me, I was a fan. I was a fan of what they were doing. I mean, to be honest, at first I was just a fan of what they were doing. I was like, wow, this is incredible. They're making a show like Universal, Sierra, female Indigenous showrunner. I want to be a part of this. And then I finally got a chance to watch it, and I became a fangirl of Jana. I was like, where have you been all my life? And then I got to be a part of it. And coming on, it was really, really smooth. It was, a lot of my career, I've had to, kind of like come on to these shows that have already been established. There's already like a sense of like a family. And, so I've kind of gotten used to sort of like jumping in. And this one was one of those ones that was just like really easy. And I didn't feel like a newcomer. I felt like completely welcomed in and appreciated and valued for what I was bringing to the show. And it's been a dream come true, honestly.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, season two is so much fun. I feel like we kind of got to go in a little bit of a different direction. And, Nathan's taken a little bit of a back seat. Reagan's stepping up. Feather Day is stepping to Terry. So, Jana, how was it for you getting to kind of swap spots with Ed and really like lead this season?
It was a lot of work and it was a lot of fun. And, I think that we, I credit Ed so much for sort of, opening the door for me. I mean, he is also an executive producer on this project. So he's responsible for hiring me. He's responsible for hiring me as a writer, and he's responsible for casting me, and to be sort of championed by somebody like him has been like absolutely a game changer for me. And, to get an opportunity in comedy to be able to sort of exercise all of my comedy skills, like as a woman in this industry, I never thought that I would see this day. And as a Native woman, I never thought I would see this show, a show like this exist. Before this, before Rutherford Falls, there have been zero Native women as lead comedic characters in any television show. So it's huge, and I can't believe I get to be a part of it. I truly feel like I'm pinching myself every day.
Well, I mean, I loved it. And seeing Feather Day kind of come in and really be this formidable opponent to Terry was so much fun. Tell me a little bit about developing her character and having fun with that.
So they kind of just told me there's this character coming your way that you're going to have to audition for. And I was thrilled. And I was like, I'm going to work my butt off to get this role. And I really sort of, I play this character called Tanis on Letterkenny. And I guess they both are, in a way, somebody a while ago said a great word. They're both like very assertive in their own right. And so, and strong in their own right. And so I'm kind of, it was kind of easy in a way to sort of step into Feather Day's knee-high boots. And it was a lot of fun to kind of figure out the tone. And like I said, when I was on set, I felt like everybody was just really, really helpful. If I had any questions about something, like, is this the right tone? Like, or is this like did I just do like a completely different show? Or, everybody was very helpful. And it was really exciting because this is like, I've been doing this for almost 20 years now professionally. And I started acting because I wanted to do comedy. And I have always been, especially if I'm playing an Indigenous role, because I'm white passing. So I can also do, other roles other than Indigenous. But when I'm doing comedy as in an Indigenous role, I'm usually the only Indigenous person.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I have a few people, a few other small characters with me, but primarily I'm working off of non-Indigenous people. And this is the first time in my career that I've got to go onto a show and work opposite all Indigenous, like super talented people. And that was a point where I was like, wow, this is real. This is really happening at such a high level. It wasn't just this like small, like, like indie gig. Like it was like we were on the Universal lot, and I was getting paid enough. I was I was like, it was a very, very pleasant experience, and I hope I get to do it again for many years.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I also love the season, we get to meet Nelson. I mean, Jana, tell me about working with Dallas. I am obsessed with this relationship. I'm a stan officially.
Yeah, Dallas is a nightmare.
You're right.
No, he's super fun. I am so excited to have officially forged a friendship with Dallas through this show. We got to work together also on Reservation Dogs, and there's another project. I'm sure that we will continue to work together on different native centered projects. He's so fun and funny, and just like he's the kind of person who is even though in his working life he's a big environmentalist and an activist, and he's born to do comedy. The guy is just like natural,
Yeah.
So it's a complete joy to be able to like have rom-com-y scenes with him, because I think it stretches him too. Dallas.
100%.
It seemed all natural to me. I mean, it's just such a cute relationship. I mean, I know we're looking towards the future, but what kind of future do you see for them?
Well, I am personally Team Josh.
Yeah, okay.
I am a toxic.
Team Nelson.
Everybody's Team Nelson, honey.
So maybe Feather Day will like swoop in and take that Nelson.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm here for that. It's
Or
like a
Josh,
love quadrangle.
Feather and Josh would be hilarious. Oh my God. Yeah.
What makes you Team Josh, though?
I don't know. I'm a bad boy.
Yeah.
I like to stir it up.
Yeah.
I'm here for the drama. I'm here for the
Right.
conflict. Like, I think also, Reagan is just kind of, she's a mess. She's a little bit of a messy person. She's not decisive. And that is sort of the reason why we in the writers' room made this like little cliffhanger at the end of season, because it's always fun to see her sweat. It's always fun to see her try to like negotiate tricky situations, and here we go again.
Yeah, right. Well, and you both have touched on this a little bit, but I obviously the Native representation is just such a massive part of the heart of Rutherford Falls. And what is it like for both of you to be able to tell these complex stories, these broad, funny, sweet stories, all with a cast of Native actors?
For me, I think that it's really exciting to have a show that has more than one or two Indigenous people, because we get to showcase, because we get to be dirty and messy and ugly, and you know what I mean? And I feel like when you have a show and there's only one Indigenous character, it's like there's a lot of pressure, not only like for your whole community. It's like, okay, well, I'm the only character, so I better friggin' do it right. I better make them proud. But, when there's a whole cast of Indigenous people, we can showcase all of the greatness and the ugliness that, we are, because we're all human beings anyways, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's so many stories that we've exchanged on set as Native people in this industry, and stories about playing Native characters that have been flattened, and really two-dimensional and not given any, internal lives as Indigenous people. And that really comes from having an Indigenous EP on our show, and a room of diverse writers, including half of our room is Native, from different tribal nations. And so I think it's so rewarding to work on a show like this, because you're bringing in people from so many different experiences, being in an industry that has largely oppressed us and oppressed our voices, and to be sort of shining is it feels like it feels like a caged bird, a bunch of caged birds being released into the wild. We just like have a lot of pent up talent and skill that we're ready to exercise. I hope we get
it's also really I don't know, like as an actress, and again, being sometimes the only Indigenous person on a set, you're kind of automatically sort of like suddenly the spokesperson for your entire culture and people, because you're the only one there. And for Rutherford Falls, coming onto it, it was like, oh wow, I can just like come on and act. Like I can just literally just do the job that I want to do. I don't have to be the cultural consultant and the this, the that, and to go into a fitting and to have all these Indigenous designers that I get to like try on, and all these Indigenous like beadwork artists that I get to, kind of like in my just my wardrobe fitting. Like that was mind blowing, because usually I'm the one who's like, you should try this person, you should try this person, and when I'm the only person who's Indigenous on the show, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I am so glad that you took the time to talk with me. Season 2 is so much fun. I can't wait for everyone to see all of it. And it's streaming now on Peacock if you haven't watched it yet. So thank you so much for your time today.